Hey team, it is Luke here. Delighted to be with my good friend Josephine Maguire at the end of a blockbuster tour. I think we're talking about it.
It's been great. It's been a marathon, but a happy one.
Melbourne, Canberra. You had your penultimate performance in Sydney today, and a few meetings to wrap up today and Friday again in Sydney. We're walking through fairly damp Hyde Park.
Yeah, I feel right at home here with this weather. It's rainy.
Yeah. We put it on just to make you feel comfortable, Josephine.
Thank you.
And of course, you're from the Sustainable Energy Authority of Ireland.
That's right.
And the reason we brought you out to Australia at this time is because we're just at this amazing moment of opportunity when it comes to residential energy performance improvement. We've got ambition from the states, we've got ambition from the Commonwealth, but we're also conscious that in some areas we're a bit behind the eight ball, and SEAI has been on the journey for 20 years. You rolled out building energy ratings in 2006. You made it mandatory that they're displayed at point of sale and lease in 2012, and then you've done all this work, accrediting and training installers of all kinds of different technologies, right?
That's true. That is absolutely true. It's been a great journey for us. I mean, I suppose for us, we were established in 2002, and then the Energy Performance and Buildings Directive was there to figure out what are the ratings of buildings, and that was great for Ireland because we had no idea at that point what state our building stock was in. So once we rolled that out, we were able to start figuring out, okay, what does our building stock look like? What are the energy ratings, and what's the roadmap we need to upgrade them? So really that's become the linchpin of all of our programs. So all of our grant programs require that a building energy rating will be undertaking, sometimes pre the works, but definitely post the works. So that allows us to map what's happening in the building stock. So right now we've got almost 1 million homes out of less than 2 million have energy ratings. So that's a really good, I suppose, cross-patch of everything that's in the building stock in Ireland. So now we've got great tools where you're able to figure out down to small electorate areas what's the state of the housing stock, even down to streets. That allows communities to know what their stock looks like. It allows sustainable communities and actors within the community to figure out, well, what are we going to do? What sort of an upgrade? What sort of an energy master plan do we have? So it's been central to everything we do, really.
And obviously it's incredibly helpful for government making policy, but also just crucial in terms of the Irish public's understanding of what good performance looks like. I mean, the level of literacy that's been built over the last 15 or so years around energy performance is pretty remarkable. Yeah,
it's been amazing. I mean, at the start, the rating is A being a very good rating, A1, right down to a G rating, so there's 15 steps up or down. And at the start, of course, people didn't really understand it, but as it we got more ratings, you have to get ratings at sale or rent. In 2012, it became a requirement that you advertise that publicly if you have a house for sale, so up on all the hoardings and the billboards. So people started to understand and differentiate and saying, okay, so I want to be in this area, and here are two houses that look kind of the same, but this one is a B rating and this one is an F. Well, I know which one I'm buying. And we can certainly see from independent research that you get a much higher price for your building if it's got a higher rating. And then of course our grant schemes to help people upgrade, we require for that. So it's in the lexicon of people now, the public understand what it is. We also refocus the report that goes with the building energy rating to make it very consumer focused, so that they can see, okay, it's a kind of I suppose it's a roadmap, but it's a traffic light system saying, is this part, your walls or your roof or whatever, is it green and orange or red if you need to upgrade them, and lots of nice visual information for homeowners to say, okay, this is how I act with my home, these are the things I need to do, and them to plan that.
And you mentioned your grant programs, and we've left a few public servants and advocates around the country this week with their jaws on the floor when they heard how much has been allocated to energy performance upgrades. You want to drop the number for us, Josephine?
So between now, it started in 2020 to 2030, we've got 8 billion
8 billion euros, and
Yes.
that's just for residential energy performance
Just
upgrades.
for residential energy performance upgrades. 4 billion of that being for those in energy poverty, and the other 4 billion for those that we call campaign.
And of course, that's for a country that's not dissimilar in size to Victoria or New South Wales, right?
That's right. We've got about 1.8 million homes that are fully inhabited. So,
Yep.
and we want to upgrade more than a quarter of them. 500,000 homes we want to get them to B2. 400,000 of those homes we want to get heat pumps in to electrify them and decarbonise them.
And I think the confidence that government has to make those sorts of investments. So one of my reflections around this week and hearing the story in some detail is that it's kind of the robust quality assurance ecosystem that the SEAI has been so critical to establishing. Like, you know, all the hard work you've done with, you know, in the north of 12 or 13 different trade skills where you're getting in, making sure that the training is of high quality, and indeed that the work's being done properly for any grants administered by the SEAI.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we were very conscious of that. We do an awful lot of research with consumers. So why were they not acting? Well, it was things like trust and confidence and worry and what's a good job and how do you quality assure that. So we were very conscious. We were going to be giving out government money to people to upgrade their homes, and we wanted to give them that confidence and assurance that the job that got done would be good. So we set about deciding what measures needed to happen in the home, and that really is, again, the building energy rating pretty much tells you that. So it's fabric, it's walls, it's roof, it's floors, and then it's your heating system and heating controls, or you know, the basic building blocks. So we started working with the industry to put lists of registered contractors in place. They would have to have the requisite skills and qualifications for the particular measure they were doing, and they would have to have the requisite insurances and tax clearance. And we worked with things like the, you know, registered gas installers of Ireland, the registered electrical contractors of Ireland, the National Standards Insulation of Ireland, the National Standards Authority of Ireland. So we have a whole suite of documents around codes. We actually have something called SR54, which is a standard for retrofit, which we use for our technical standards that people sign up to in our codes of practice. And of course we then have, I suppose, a quality assurance program where we would do some inspections, desk-based or in the home, making sure the homeowner is happy, making sure the level of quality is kept at a level that we need. And
all that work has enabled you to take the next step over the last 18 months and establish a accredited one-stop shop system, right?
That's exactly right. So I suppose maybe if I explain what the one-stop shop system, we know from speaking to homeowners that's just crucial. What do they need to activate them? They said, you know what, if you want me to do a more comprehensive upgrade, that's a bit of a scary place for me. That's a bit more complex, a bit more confusing, and I lack the confidence to act in that. I need somebody to take me on the journey end to end. So there was born the one-stop shop. So they take homeowners right from giving them the information on their home, giving them the design they need to do to upgrade their home, particularly when a heat pump's involved. You need to be careful that you've got, you know, fabric and insulation in the home so that they don't increase the bills of the home. So they do all of that. Then they organise their contractor list from our registered lists. They project manage them to come in and out, do all of the upgrades that's needed. They quality assure all of that. They deal with SEAI for whatever grants, and they only charge the homeowner the net cost net of the grant. And the homeowner, for them, it's really simple. They only have one contract, one person they deal with, and that's the one-stop shop. Everything else is taken care of by the one-stop shop.
And it's so inspiring the way that, I mean, there's all this complexity in home upgrades, but what you've been able to achieve kind of manages that complexity before you hit the homeowner, right?
Exactly. It gives them a simple journey that's a continuous journey. That you don't want the consumer journey to be broken in any way, because when that happens, they drop out. As we all would.
So we're almost out of time. We're almost at our breakfast place. If you had one piece of advice for Australia, having immersed yourself in where we're up to over the last week, what would it be?
I would say get some sort of a building energy rating out across Australia. That will be the foundation, the linchpin, the measurement that's independent of everything we do. But you know what? What I would say is I'm actually impressed with what you've got in Australia. All the building blocks are there. You know, it might be in ACD or New South Wales, Victoria, or wherever, where you're doing registrations, or you're doing quality assurance, or you have an obligation scheme, or you have the BERs out there. So it's just about putting all of those together and doing them at a national level. I think you can get there quite quickly.
Putting the building blocks together, it's like plugging together the Voltron in a way, isn't it, Josephine? Well, you've given us a good template. It's quite incredible. I'm very inspired by the week. Thank you so much for being with us over this week. It's been incredibly inspiring and timely, and we'll be reflecting on everything you've shared for a long time to come.
Great, thank you. Great to be here.